Hello Internet! Welcome to the only show where Tree is actually trying to help you cook instead of only being a hit sauce. Last time we talked about preparation of a good broth and it was my great success, cause honestly I wasn't prepared for such a great response. Today we will be talking about cutlets. If you are not into history lesson, feel free to skip to the recipe, cause we've got quite a material to embark. Firstly, let's talk about the name. In Poland there are two names for the same dish and there is no consensus about which one is the correct one. On one hand we have cutlet, which is present in English-speaking countries as cutlet. It is direct derivation from French word côtelette, which came from Old French costelet, which means little rib. The word costa means little in Latin too. On the other hand, we have schnitzel, which, as you may guess from the sound of it, derives from German word Schnitzel, which means slice. So, now we know the names, but that's not all. In Poland we have two kinds of cutlets. Minced meat cutlet, which is Kotlety Mielone, and whole meat cutlet, like kotlet schabowy, which is made of ham, and kotlet z kurczaka, which is made of chicken. In this video we'll be talking about Kotlety Mielone, which is made of minced meat. If you say in Poland, poproszę kotlet schabowy, in every restaurant you'll receive the whole meat cutlet made of ham. But if you'd like to play a bit more risky game, you can ask for schnitzel. In some regions you'll receive minced meat cutlet, and in some you'll receive the whole meat cutlet. Here you have a map where you can get what, but it may not be accurate. But I haven't told you about the history of this food. First of all, let's talk about the process of mincing meat. In the ancient times, when people didn't have proper utensils, they couldn't create minced meat on a large scale. They used knives to cut the meat into little fiber and eaten fresh, cause there was no easy way of preparing minced meat. That's how tartar was born. So, let's wrap up. No easy way of mincing, no easy way of preserving equals tartar times. The revolution came with Industrial Revolution. People started inventing stuff, like Carl Dres invented mincing machine and William Cullen invented fridge, or at least sort of fridge. From that point, people around the world started inventing their own ways of preparing minced meat cutlets. We have cevapcici that appeared in Balkan regions, meatballs that appeared all around the world, including Schnitzels that you may know from IKEA stores. Technique of mincing meat also came to Poland and gave us Kotlety Mielone. But there is more in mielone that makes it this dish. The ingredient that made it Polish. It is not pickle or onion, don't get mistaken. Even though they are so Polish and are ingredients of the dish, it's breadcrumbs that make this dish different. You see, cevapcici are made of minced meat and sour cream with seasonings. Schnitzels are made of minced meat and potatoes, and mielone are made of minced meat with bun. Apart from that, mielone are also covered with breadcrumbs to make a delicious crust. What makes breadcrumbs so Polish? They were Polish invention, according to my books. It was first in Polish cookbooks that appeared the phrase posyp chlebem, which is kinda awkward to say, but it literally means sprinkle with bread. But in fact they meant to sprinkle dried breadcrumbs that could be grated off from bread or bun all over the dish. This comes from a recipe of beef sausages from 1783. That's kinda long time ago, isn't it? Let's talk about present times, for the small reason. In the making of this video I haven't mentioned about the important ingredient that may change dish quite much. the pickled cucumber. If you slice it into cubes and add it into the mixture, it will make the meat pleasantly sour and it will be even more Polish than the one I will present you now. And now the recipe. Get half a kilo of minced meat, 1 egg that I have already beaten into the bowl, dried bun that I have already soaked in milk, 1 onion, around 200 grams of breadcrumbs, and seasonings, salt and black pepper. Once the bun falls apart from the pressure of your fingers, remove excessive moisture from it by squeezing it. If you've done it well, it will not be sticky. It will be still wet though. Cut the onion into small pieces and fry it until golden. Once you're finished, let it cool a while. I've put my bowl into a sink filled with cold water to hasten the process. Once it's cool enough that you can touch it freely, add every ingredient into the bowl, except for breadcrumbs, and mix it thoroughly. If you think the mixture is too sticky due to excess amount of liquids, add more breadcrumbs. They will help you, but don't try adding too much or cutlets will taste exactly like bun. Once you're done with forming the base, fill 1 bowl with breadcrumbs and surround your cutlets with it. Flatten them so that they don't get undercooked on the interior while the exterior is already black. That way they are ready to be fried. And now the last step, frying. Do it until they are browned on each side. If your cutlets are red on the inside, they are also not ready and you should put them into the oven, 200 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. That should make them ready. Traditionally, they are served with potatoes and salad, but you can eat them alone if you wish to. Feel free to experiment with ingredients. You can add pickled cucumber or tomato sauce or some mustard. They add great flavor to your dish and make it even more enjoyable than the classic I have presented to you. That's all for today. If you'd like to hear more about the Polish cuisine, feel free to subscribe, and if you want, click the like button below. Happy cooking!